Welcome to No Brainer MMA. What's going on, Dan?
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good?
Nothing. Whole lot of nothing. Same day, same. That old saying. Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. Starting the night off right. You want to just get right into this, Dan? UFC 267?
I mean, we could talk about how Paulo Costa's now going to be a light heavyweight and probably going to get fucking battered up there.
Yeah, because he's got little T-Rex arms. Dude, when I saw him walking out and like he was crying, I was like, oh, he's got this. He's got this. He was emotional as fuck to be back. But nah, he lost that decisively.
Decisively.
Yeah, decisively.
But yeah.
All right, you want to get into... You said you wanted to do the first one.
Yeah, I got an email from my professor. I just had to check it real quick. It's just some Excel shit I'm going to have to fucking do later. But hey, we're talking about fights now. So fuck Excel work.
Yeah, it's all about the fights, bro.
It's all about the fights.
No nerd stuff. It's all about the fights.
All right, we got Alan Nascimento taking on Tygir Ulanbekov. So I'm going to start off with Alan Puro Aso Nascimento. He's got a 18-5 record. He's coming off of a first-round submission win over Ivaldo. I don't know, Lima. This dude Lima, but he lost a contender series fight against Raulian Paiva, who is a fucking stud, by the way, and is fighting Sean O'Malley.
Is that right? Oh yeah, he's fighting him. That's right.
Yeah, so he had a split decision fight against Raulian Paiva. So Paiva's ranked number 15 at bantamweight, and this is a flyweight fight. So this guy is coming in. He's definitely got some talent. On the other hand, we got Tygir. Tygir he's definitely decent for his size at flyweight division. He's got good striking. He utilizes his mind pretty well. But he doesn't mind the brawl. Like, he'll brawl with you. He doesn't give a fuck. His focal point is his wrestling, his scrambling ability, his top control. He is well-rounded though. When he gets on the bottom, like, he gets right back up. He beat Bruno Silva, which is definitely, that's something, you know. He took a bunch of calf kicks in that fight and was able to still get the decision nod. That fight was very close though. You could have possibly given that fight to Bruno Silva. But at the end of the day, he won that fight. He's kind of a stud. Looking at their size comparisons, they're both pretty big for the flyweight division. 5'9" for Nascimento and 5'7" and 7 and a 1 each reach advantage for the Dagestan native. You know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna take Tygir. I don't bet against Dagestan very often, so Tygir is gonna take this by unanimous decision, probably pretty one-sided. Utilizes his wrestling, you know, keeps his legs in control, and boom, that's how this fight card starts.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one. Then Tygir Ulanbekov, 12-1 record, 4-1 his last 5. Only loss is to Zhalgas Magulov. You know, I'm number one fan of Zhalgas Magulov. Lost his UFC debut he won against Bruno Silva, right? He won his UFC debut.
Yeah.
Razor close though. They both had like the same exact, yeah, it was nuts. And that a debut like that doesn't really get much harder than that. Bruno Silva's the real deal. He did have 3 scheduled bouts, twice with Mateus Nikolai and Tyson Nam once, and he withdrew every time. So that's kind of like worrisome.
Probably had a nagging injury. I mean,
yeah, you never know. It's just another question mark. He's a combat sambo practitioner.
Wrestling.
Crazy grappling. He took Bruno Silva down 5 times.
Yeah, Bruno Silva got on top of him a couple times though too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But he's the only guy in the UFC that is able to take down Bruno Silva so far, and he's got 5 UFC fights.
Yeah, and Bruno Silva hits like a Mack truck, and he was able to withstand it and brawled with him.
Yeah, it was a brawl. He's taking on Alan Nascimento, 3-2 in his last 5. He's making his debut after that contender series loss to Raulian Paiva. He was able to outstrike Paiva in every round, though. But he went 1 for 10 for takedowns. Fights at a shoot box. He's been fighting since 2011, 18 pro fights, 14 by sub.
Is it Shootbox Diego Lima?
Yeah,
It's a good one. That's probably Brazil's best gym.
for sure. But overall, I'm gonna have to go with Ulanbekov in this one. I think he'll be able to take him down.
28, but I could see a 30, 20, 27.
But I will say this: he's gonna have to watch out for Nascimento's submissions because he's dangerous from his back, and I assume that this fight's gonna go to the ground, and Teixeira is gonna secure a couple of takedowns. So Nascimento is dangerous. He's gonna have to watch out for those submissions. But overall,
You're on top. You got 90%. 90% of the time, you're gonna get the win. So
yeah. So we're both agreeing. We're both going Teixeira Ulanbekov. We're gonna move right into the next one. Daimir Ismagulov versus Magomed Mustafaev.
yeah, I was pretty sure this was way up there on the card, but apparently not.
Yeah, well, this whole card is so stacked, it's like crazy. But this will move up for sure. It's definitely going to be past the next one. The next one is like crazy. I'm going to start with Mustafaev though, 3-2, 1-1 since his hiatus that he took from 2016 to 2019, stemming from multiple injuries. But he's only 33 years old. Has notable wins over guys whose stock is shooting through the roof right now, and Rafael Fazayev finished all 14 of his wins, 10 by KO, 4 by sub. Only seen the third round twice in his career, though. Slightly negative striking differential, 3.3 takedowns at 50%. He's taken on Daimir Ismagulov, 5-0, and holds a 23-1 record and a perfect 4-0 in the UFC. Wins mostly by KO, TKO, but has gone the distance in 6 out of his last 10. So I definitely give him the. What'd you say?
Really good.
Yeah, I definitely give him like the cardio advantage in this one, hands down. He has a plus 1.85 striking differential, 1.75 takedowns at 36% accuracy. Hasn't been taken down yet in the UFC. Mustafaev has the power advantage overall, but I think Ismagulov has the better striking, much better cardio. Both guys are Sambo practitioners at a high level, so the grappling advantage is like a toss-up, but I'm going to go with Ismagulov in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take him as well. Mustafaev did have that fight against Brad Riddell, which was a close one. And he somehow knocked out Rafael Fazayev, which is pretty crazy. But then again, he lost via rear naked choke, which is honestly, then we're going back to 2016. We're talking about the hiatus there.
Yeah.
When you lose by rear naked choke is not something a very, very, very high level black belt will get choked out by, unless they're hurt,
Right.
Like, unless you like batter them with punches and make them a fucking white belt, they're not going to get choked out by a rear naked choke. And Kevin Lee was able to do that. So I do give the grappling advantage to Ismagulov, and I'm going to give him the fight overall. He's just a fantastic overall fighter. The odds reflect that.
What is he?
He's a pretty sizable favorite. I think he's minus 250, minus 245, minus 275. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, I like him in this fight a lot. I think he takes it.
Yeah, we're both agreeing again. We're starting the night off right. Both going Daimir Ismagulov. We're going to move right into the next one. Yao Zong Wu versus Andre Petrowski.
All right. So we got Totoro Hu Zhaorong.
That was good.
Fighting out of Tiger Muay Thai. He's lost his he's lost his 2 UFC outings, but they were in 2017 and 2018 to Cyril Asker and Rashad Coulter. We don't really know how much better he's gotten since then. That's the thing that intrigues me about this fight. On the other hand, Petrowski, we've seen him recently where he stopped Michael Gilmore in the 3rd round. He was a contestant on Tough 28 as well.
He killed it.
Yeah, he had that win, and then he lost to Brian Battle,
And Brian Battle won it all and is fucking sick.
Yeah, so this guy's got a future ahead of him in the UFC, but I'm curious what the odds are because I kind of
250 for Petrowski.
Yeah,
Minus
so
250.
Yao Zhang Hu is, I think, honestly, a pretty it's risky, but I'm gonna take him in this fight. I like him as an underdog. I like how he's taken some time off, and I want to see what his skill set really looks like because his back is up against the wall when it comes to the UFC. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah,
I believe he got injured, but there's been plenty of time to improve in other areas, and I think he does that. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. Petrowski, he's solid, but let's be real here. I don't think he's gonna be top of the food chain type guy. So yeah, I'm gonna ride with the underdog.
Yeah, that's pretty. I actually like that now that you said it. Not a bad idea. I'm gonna start off with
I'm probably in I would give him a 35 to 40% chance of winning, and I'm siding with that in this one.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna start off with who in this 3-2 record total. So very green. And he's on a 2-fight losing streak. Those 2 losses that he has, he's on a 2-fight losing streak, both in the UFC. And he's fought over some pretty low level competition. And I'm not afraid to say that because if you look at it, it really is. Although his first fight was a heavyweight fight, and he looked undersized in that. And then his next fight was at 205 back in 2018. So he's moving down in weight. This fight is actually at middleweight.
Yeah, so it's his natural size. Like, what he's got here, you know? That's how I'm looking at it. Like,
yeah, flash forward 3 years to now, which is a long ass time. And they ring rust is a weird thing. Like, guys who are veterans of the sport can go away for a couple years and have like little to no ring rust. But a guy that's 3-2, there's like no doubt in my mind that he's going to have at least a little bit of ring rust. He's not a veteran at all. He's like green, completely green. There's very few people that have a 3-2 record in the UFC. He might be the one and only one, honestly.
Yeah, but he has fought in the cage. Like, he's sparred. He's done all that.
Obviously, yeah, but still, it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's actually going out there, making weight and competing. No.
Yeah, no, not at all. Especially in the biggest company.
I'm curious to see if he makes weight or not.
Yeah, that's a good question. But since that 2018, he's switched his camp from Jackson Wink to Tiger Muay Thai. Both solid striking camps. He's going to be taking on Andre Petrowski, 3-2 in his last 5. He won his UFC debut in his last time out. Was able to take his opponent down, Michael Gilmer, 4 times for a total of 7 minutes and 38 seconds of control time, and got a TKO. Still a 6-1 record, all by finish, but has 1-1 exhibition fights for Tough. He has an extensive 7-1 amateur record. I like Petrowski in this. He's the more well-rounded guy, and who coming off that long layoff and being super green, I just can't really trust. Not to mention a new weight class.
I'm not trusting him at all. I'm just going on gut.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. I'm gonna go Andre Petrowski.
But if you guys want to take a flyer on who, take it.
We're disagreeing. Dan's going who. I'm going Petrowski. We're gonna move right into the next one. Makwan Amirkhani versus Lerone Murphy. I'm gonna start with Makwan Amirkhani, 3-2 in his last 5 on a 2-fight losing streak. Great grappler, 11 of his 16 wins coming by sub, but his striking is like pretty poor. He's got a minus 1.1 striking differential. Does average 3.6 takedowns per fight. That's how it evens itself out at 40% accuracy. He's taken on Lerone Murphy, undefeated, 10-0-1, 2-0-1 in the UFC. Got some KO power with a plus 0.8 striking differential. Only 41% takedown defense, which is pretty worrisome. Was taken down 6 times in his UFC debut. You could chalk that up to being his UFC debut, but definitely should be noted. Although he did face a grappler in his next time out against Ricardo Ramos, and he averages 3 takedowns per fight and is a solid grappler and is also fighting on this card. So Murphy was able to get the finish in the first in that one, but did go 0 for 2 for takedowns. So you never know. I am going to take Murphy in this fight, but Murphy doesn't have the best volume in his striking. So this one's tough. If he gets taken down a couple of times and doesn't land enough, he could easily lose this fight.
Yeah, I could see it, but I think he's going to power through it. I mean, Lerone Murphy's an absolute beast.
Yeah.
He's coming off that win against Douglas Silva de Andrade and knocked out Ricardo Ramos. Like this guy's not a fucking joke. Look at how this man's built too for the featherweight division. Like,
yeah, it's wild that he's a featherweight.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his, and I think he keeps it going. Look at him. Look at Amir Khani's fucking Tapology page if you want to get a little laugh in.
Yeah, dude. It's why would they use that picture? It's just him with a whole bunch of chicks on a couch.
Yeah, and they're all
it's ridiculous.
White blondes.
Well, he's from Sweden, isn't he?
Something like that. What is he?
Finland.
Sweden or Finland?
Finland, yeah, same.
Yeah,
shit.
they're known for their blondes.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to just shit on Finland.
What are you saying about blondes, dude? You're throwing blondes into this?
I mean, does he have to be surrounded by blondes?
I mean, what are you gonna say next about the gingers, huh?
Listen, if I was in that position and I was taking that picture, there would be a diverse group in front of me because I discriminate against nobody.
All right, you. What is it called? What's it called? You PC fuck. We're both agreeing with this one, right, Dan?
Yeah, we're agreeing that Makwan Amir Khani's racist, right?
Yeah, no, is he racist?
I'm kidding.
Oh, all right, Macman. We don't want to get sued. So that was a funny joke that Dan did right there. Fucking racist piece of shit. We're gonna move right into the next one.
Why are they all white, dude?
Yeah, dude, what the fuck? Mikhail Oleksiejczuk versus Shamil Gamzatov.
All right. Yeah, Oleksiejczuk. We've gone over him before. We've covered him multiple times. He isn't that good. Let's just be real.
Come on. He's okay.
He's not very good.
Yeah, well, he's not top 20.
Again, his fight against Błachowicz, that fight, if I remember, wasn't that fight gross?
No, it wasn't bad. It was a very close fight, so it was fun to watch.
Yeah, and
all striking, so it was pretty cool.
No, I feel like it was a lot of clinch. It was a lot of clinch. Yeah, but Oleksiejczuk, if I'm not mistaken, southpaw. He's around 6 feet tall, I was gonna say. He seems like a little bit. Is this fight at 205 or
yeah, it's lightweight.
I don't know. Maybe he's like a little undersized for the division.
He's probably on the border.
Listen, I know that Shamil had a tough outing last fight against Kilton Abreu. But before that, he looked really good in the PFL, in my opinion.
Yeah, he did.
And nickname Umar, fights out of Russia top teams. He's got more of the frame for the light heavyweight division.
Yeah.
I mean, 6'2", 75.5-inch reach. That's pretty solid. 31 years old. That's prime time fighting. Again, I'm not betting against the Russians this card.
I mean, most of these fights are Russian dudes.
Yeah, and a lot of them are undefeated. And I'm not gonna bet on his first loss. So I got Shamil decision. UD.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off with Shamil in this one as well. 14-0 record, 1-0 in the UFC, like Dan said. Won, but it was very close. And Kilton Abreu isn't necessarily like the best guy around. I don't even think he's in the UFC anymore. And that was back in 2019. He's since had 4 fizzled bouts, 1 time for COVID, 3 times because he withdrew himself. So also that's a question. 10 out of his 14 wins have been by finish, 5 by KO, 5 by sub, pretty well rounded. Taking on Oleksiejczuk, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a split decision win over Modestas Bukauskas, but very close fight again. And Modestas Bukauskas has since to go on to maybe he'll never fight again after that last fucking TKO.
Oh God.
Where his leg got bent backwards by Khalil Roundtree. 11 of his 15 wins have been by finish, 10 by KO. Really solid striking differential, plus 1.2 at 52% accuracy, 67% takedown defense. But the problem with him is his takedown defense in fights. When he's taken down in the UFC, he's 0-2, and only has a 40% takedown defense. Although we didn't get to see it in his last fight, Gamzatov is a skilled grappler.
That's where I think he's taking this fight.
He's another Sambo guy, of course. Also, like, this is also pretty big. When I was looking through the fight, Oleksiejczuk had some USADA problems. He got busted twice. One, he was supposed to make his UFC debut. He got busted for performance-enhancing substances. And then after his debut against Khalil Roundtree, he was busted again. He popped for more performance-enhancing drugs. That's just not a good look. And since then, I mean,
Ortiz.
Exactly. Juicy juice. He killed it in that Khalil Roundtree fight. Absolutely busted him up, won that fight. But since then, after USADA and everything, like, he stopped taking steroids. He doesn't look the same like he did in his UFC debut.
Oh,
his best fight was his UFC debut, and I'm chalking that up to it being from steroids. It has to be. So
is he not slow as fuck to you too? Doesn't throw with, like, it's not fast or powerful. It's just like you're not a Diaz. You can't make that work unless your last name is Diaz.
That's true.
Or Covington, honestly.
Oh, come on. All right, so we're both agreeing in this one. We're both going to go Shamil Gamzatov, excuse me. There's some sticklers out there nowadays in the comments. All right, we're going to move right into the next one.
Yeah, we got Elizeu Zaleski against Benoit Saint Denis.
Is this me or you, actually? I thought this was you. It might be me.
This is me.
This is you. Okay.
Zaleski's coming off of that split decision loss against Muslim Salikov, which was a really close fight back at UFC 251, Masvidal versus Usman 1. Before that, he had a win over Alexei Kunchenko, and the fight before that, he got knocked out cold by Li Jianlang, who we will be talking about shortly. Then we got the God of War, Saint Denis. This guy has been pretty fucking good. I mean, don't get me wrong, he hasn't fought the best of competition, but he has been fighting for Brave consistently getting knee bars, arm triangles. He's won his last 2 via arm triangle. He'll just get on top of you and just fucking put your head and arm. He'll trap your head and arm and choke you out. He doesn't give a fuck.
He'll choke you to death.
Mario Said, I remember him knocking out in the second round. This is an interesting one. What's it called? Zaleski is a pretty sizable favorite in this one, but I kind of like Saint Denis just coming in here and getting the Frenchman just coming in and making a fucking name for himself. He's 8-0, undefeated, I want to see if he could keep it up. And so far, so good. Normally, when you see fighters coming out of France, it's their striking that blows you away. But his grappling has been, honestly, his top utilized weapon so far to get wins. He hasn't been fighting. He's only been fighting professionally since 2019, which was right before the COVID. Like basically, his whole fight career has been COVID. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's 25 years old, 5'11" welterweight. I like him in this fight. Zaleski's an absolute beast, and he's definitely been around. He's been around the fucking
block.
He's been around the block. He's got wins over Luigi Vendramani, Sean Strickland, Lyman Good,
Max Griffin.
Max Griffin, like Omari Akhmedov. Like this guy's no fucking joke. But I don't know why. I just have like it's another gut feeling that I have that this unknown kid just comes in and gets win. Well, I know he got 8 professional fights, but still.
Yeah. And the UFC must see something different in him if he's taking on Zaleski in his first fight in his UFC.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But
that high up on the card?
Yeah, right. You're good, right? Then you got Saint Denis.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna start with Zaleski in this 3-2.
He's a fucking beast. I don't want to undersell that. He's probably going to win, but again, I like Benoit to win this.
Zaleski 3-2, coming off a split decision loss from Muslim Salikov. He's a UFC veteran, 8-3 UFC record. Dan mentioned the guys that he was all facing against, pretty top guys, at least 2 of them. Sean Strickland, Omari Akhmedov before he got cut. He's got a +1 striking differential at 39% accuracy, 52% takedown defense, kind of low percentages overall. He wins mostly by KO with 14 KO TKOs. Also good on the ground. He's a BJJ black belt, but has been out for over a year due to a knee injury that required surgery. So we haven't seen him since then. He'll be taking on UFC newcomer Saint Denis. Excuse me?
ACL?
I'm not totally sure. I know it was a knee, but I'm not exactly.
I mean, it's got to be an ACL, MCL, PCL.
Yeah, one of those, or maybe all 3.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Yeah, but he's been out for over a year. I think it was like close to 15 months. He'll be taking on UFC newcomer Saint Denis. Pretty green, only 8-0. He started his pro career in 2019, like Dan said. All wins coming by finish, 7 by sub. Pretty crazy on the ground. He's a former French Special Air Force soldier, I guess you would call him. Just like really tough guys. They're actually like, if you look into it, they were like the first group of people to storm the beaches of Normandy, just to show how like badass they were. And he was a part of them. Not for Normandy, obviously. But
well, yeah, I was gonna say Normandy's in France.
No, I mean, like for World War II, that was the first people to storm the beaches of Normandy. That group of people that he belonged to when he was in the Special Air Force. So it's pretty badass. It means nothing for this, but he just means he's badass. This will hands down be the toughest fight of his career. I think very highly of him, though. Very high ceiling. And I think he's going to take this one too, Dan. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go with Saint Denis in this.
Wow. I was literally not expecting that. I was expecting you to go the complete opposite direction. I didn't see this coming.
Yes, sir. And that's a pretty sizable underdog in this.
Yeah.
Pretty sizable. Like a +200, right? No, +155. Okay. Not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
I really like it in this. It's a guy that's rising and a guy that's kind of been falling. So we'll see what happens. Saint Denis. I think Saint Denis. Is that his name or Saint Denis?
It's Saint Denis. It's
Saint
French.
Denis. French.
Saint Denis.
Oh, parlez-vous Francois? We're both agreeing. We're both going Saint Denis. Benoit Saint Denis in his UFC debut. We're gonna move right to the next one.
Yo, you take the next 2, so I get Amanda Hebas.
You got it. Zubara Tukagov versus Ricardo Ramos. So we already mentioned, but actually both these guys have fought people that are fighting earlier on in this card, which is pretty.
Yeah, they beat those guys.
Yeah, they beat those guys. I'll start with Tukagov, 2-2-1. He lost a split decision in his last time out, but before that, he KO'd Kevin Aguilar. All right. In the first, it was a good fight. It was a solid performance by him, and he needed that win. And before that, he lost a split decision to Lerone Murphy and Renato Moicano. So he's lost 3 split decisions in his last 4 fights.
It was a draw against Lerone Murphy.
It was a draw, split decision draw.
He lost a split decision to Hakeem Dawodu. That was kind of 50-50.
Yeah, the fact that he gets to split decisions so often is worrisome.
Felipe Novari fought to split decision back in 2019. It's
very weird. But all those guys, for the most part, are good competition, and he just came up a little short a couple of times. But you could say that was just like bad luck. Oh, bad luck. I lost a couple of split decisions. I had a draw. But if you look a little closer, I think I point the finger at his gas tank. You watch those fights, he slows dramatically as the fight goes on, which is a huge problem. And the weight cut is a huge problem for him. He weighed in 4 pounds over against that fight against Hakeem Dawodu, and he looked piss poor. He looked not good. So both those things going together, that's huge. He's taken on Ricardo Ramos, 3-2, quietly 6-2 in the UFC, losing to Said Nurmagomedov and Lerone Murphy. He's a guy with great grappling, 3 takedowns per fight, 58% accuracy, 73% takedown defense. These guys have very similar games. It's crazy. But overall, I like Ramos. He's got the better stand-up, the better gas tank. I think their grappling is pretty even. It's tough to say who's better at that. But I think Ramos wins the striking exchanges, and I think that's going to be the difference maker in the end of it.
See, I think I see this fight playing out as it plays into Tukagov's hands at the beginning, but as the fight wanes, you see it go more and more and more and more and more into Ramos's favor and he's going to take full control of that by the 3rd round. So I'm actually going to agree with you on that one. I really like Ricardo Ramos. He's young, he's talented. I love these featherweights, man. They're great.
Dude, the division is so stacked. But if we're both agreeing on this one, if we're both agreeing on Ricardo Ramos, that's going to be 2 underdogs in a row. So get it while it's hot. And what's the next one, Dan?
Let's see. It's Albert Duraev and Roman Kopylov.
Nice. It's
I think we switched them by accident, but
okay. Yeah, all good. I'm gonna start with Albert Duraev. He made his Contender Series debut in his last time out. The fight was 100% him. Took the guy down. Basically, 3 significant strikes were landed on the entire fight, and he took the guy down and subbed him with a neck crank. And he looked absolutely stellar, just dominance. It was not fair. He's got a 14-3 record, 5'11", 185 pounds, 75-inch reach, 32 years old. He used to fight out of smaller Russian companies. So the level of competition is kind of sketchy. You look at some of these guys, they have great records. You do a little deep diving, and it's like,
For Starks, though, like some of these guys aren't bad.
Oh no, I'm telling you, yeah, some good, but then like you do
look at Kopylov though.
What'd you say?
Look at Kopylov's guys that he fought.
Yeah, it's
that's what I'll say.
Yeah, you might have a point there, but yeah, it's just a little sketchy. You know, it's all these. He did fight at M1 though. That's very competitive. He's going to be taking on Roman Kopylov. 8-1 record, 30 years old, 6 foot, 185, 75-inch reach. Both guys are very similar physically. Lost his last time out to Carl Roberson. And I think since then, Carl Roberson has actually been cut from the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Dan?
Sucks if he did.
Yeah, I think he might have been. He had a couple of... And Carl Roberson was actually able to outstrike him, took him down. But
If you're
oh
getting
no,
subbed by fucking Carl Roberson, are you a ground wizard? Definitely not, in my opinion.
yeah, outstruck and then just taken down
Like,
at will.
striker.
And
Kopylov is a striker, but he
yeah,
got out.
first yes, yeah, but also a little bit of combat sambo as well. Um, both guys being from Russia, similar backgrounds in combat sambo. He's pretty green. Level of competition is not anywhere near that of um, Durayev's. Not to mention, I keep bringing this up, but I do think this is an important factor in fights. He's had 3 fizzled bouts since his last fight, 2 with him pulling out, 1 from COVID. It's just something that you don't want to see. So I'm actually going to go with Albert Duraev in this one. But this fight's a little weird for me. I
I
don't
don't.
know. I don't know if I would place any money down on this fight.
I'll throw this fight in a parlay all day. I got Duraev all day in this fight.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I believe in him. You mentioned his like him not fighting the greatest competition. Kopylov definitely didn't fight the greatest competition either. Duraev, I like the way he fights. He looked absolutely phenomenal in that Contender Series fight. I can't get it out of my fucking mind. Out of all
Grappling is
that neck crank just stood out head and shoulders above the rest. I mean, it's not like we're doing a lot of tape work on the main event and Peter Yan and shit, because that shit is just built in all of our heads at this
of
point.
course.
But yeah, I'm gonna confidently ride Duraev. I'm gonna back you 100%.
Nice.
I don't Kopylov it does have a future, but he is a little green right now. He needs to fight better competition. I don't know what gym he's fighting out of. He needs to find like a pretty big gym, where they have a surplus of talent that he can work with and get improve on and get better. So
Yeah, we're both gonna agree. We're both gonna go with the decent favorite. He's at a minus 270 right now in Duraev. And we're gonna move right into the next one. Amanda Hebas versus Verna Zhandiroba, and this is going to be the prelim main event.
yeah, featured prelim right here. Amanda Hebas taking on Vina Zhandiroba. This fight is interesting. We have 2 fantastic Brazilian jiu-jitsu artists in this fight. This is a great strawweight fight, honestly. Great. Hebas wins over Mackenzie Dern, Emily Whitmire, Rana Marcos, Paige Van Zandt. She was able to get that win over Paige Van Zandt in just over 2 minutes. Was able to get that sub. Vina Zhandiroba, probably maybe even better jiu-jitsu than she has. So I see this fight maybe taking place on the feet a lot, but Amanda Hebas does have one advantage, which is her judo. Her black belt in judo is going to come into play, I think, in this fight, where she's going to take close rounds and she's going to win them by using her judo hip throws, using their momentum against them, obviously. And I think Amanda Hebas is able to decision Zhandiroba because I don't think she subs her. She's too good to get subbed. I don't think she knocks her out. Amanda Hebas' striking isn't that good. Neither is Zhandiroba. Her striking isn't fantastic at all either. I would probably give the striking edge to Zhandiroba, honestly, by a little bit. Looking at the odds right now, Amanda Hebas is the minus 158 favorite. I would honestly, if I was a bookmaker, I would be making Zhandiroba the favorite in this fight. But I'm going to take Amanda Hebas. I think she's able to steal the rounds with her judo. And when you're in top control, if you got side control, not necessarily side control, but she gets that fight into half guard, she can keep Zhandiroba down at half guard and just work from there. So I got Amanda Hebas. She absolutely dominated Mackenzie Dern. People forget about that. She dominated Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah.
So Amanda Hebas is going to get back into the win column and start making her stride towards the belt.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna agree with you on this one. I'm gonna go Amanda Hebas, but I really do like Amanda Hebas's striking. And I think that is the difference maker in this fight. She's got a plus 2.5 striking differential at 44% accuracy, 71% striking defense. Their grappling game is like
Next level.
next level, both like right there. Like it's either like it's a 50-50. They're grappling. It's
Yeah,
really
but Hebas gets the fight to the ground easier.
yeah, because of the judo, like you said. I could see that. But I think the striking is also in her favor. I can't stress that enough. Zhandiroba has a minus zero point 0.3 striking differential, 46% accuracy, 53% striking defense. Um, and I do think that Hebas is the bigger of the two. She has fought at 125. Zhandiroba has only really fought at straw weight. So I give the size advantage to Amanda Hebas too. Um, but this is a close fight. Like the ground, if this goes to the ground, it's going to be, I would actually like to see that rather than it staying on the feet. I want to see both these girls just like scram. It's going to be wild if that's the case. If this is like a grappling bout. What'd you say?
The skill level on the ground is
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's crazy. And I kind of just want to see how that would play out. But if that does happen, it's anyone's game. If it stays on the feet, I give the advantage to Hebas.
See, I'm gonna give Zhandiroba the overall Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu edge, but I give Amanda Hebas the huge edge in the judo, where she is able to get that top control. Zhandiroba can do whatever she wants from the bottom to try to threaten Hebas, but Hebas is smart. She's been in plenty of grappling tournaments, plenty of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments. She knows what to do in every situation on the ground. So both of these girls do.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I think Amanda Hebas gets it down. If the fight goes down, I'm saying there's an 80% chance or higher that Amanda Hebas is the person on top.
All right. Yeah, that's a fair point to make. But we're both agreeing on this one. We're both going to go Amanda Hebas, right, Dan?
100%.
100%. We're going to move right into the next one. Magame Ankalaev versus Volkan Ozdemir. All right. So I'm going to start with, wait, is this one me, right, Dan?
Yeah, that's you.
Ankalaev, 6-1 in the UFC, only lost his debut to Paul Craig, and has since gone on a 6-fight winning streak. 4 of those by KO, 3 of them in the very first round. He has a plus 1.6 striking differential at 53% accuracy, 1.1 takedowns per fight at 33% accuracy, and 85% takedown defense. He's going to be taking on Volkan Ozdemir, 2-3 in his last 5, although he's facing like top 5 competition in almost every one of his fights. DC, Anthony Smith, Dom Reyes, Alexander Rakic,
and the next 205-pound champion.
Exactly. And in his last time, he actually won that first round against Jiri. And I was like, holy shit, I can't believe this. And then was quickly KO'd in the second. But he did look good in that first round.
I mean, Volkan's got some great striking himself.
Unreal striking, and he's humongous. He has a plus 0.8 striking differential, 80% takedown defense. Both guys win mostly by KO TKO. So this fight is an absolute banger to start off the main card. And I'm actually going to take the underdog in Volkan Ozdemir in this one. He's been there with the best and has beat even some of the best. Ankalaev has fought some decent guys, but no guys near the top 10. I'm going to ride with the underdog in Volkan Ozdemir in this one.
Yeah, well, this for me is a battle of trends. Volkan Ozdemir is trending down, and Ankalaev is trending upwards. I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one. I think the UFC obviously sees this as a stepping stone fight. At one point, Ozdemir was challenging DC for the 205-pound belt, and the UFC was kind of pushing him for that belt because DC was getting up there in age and everything like that. Volkan Ozdemir is a great striker, but his chin is a little suspect. Ankalaev, he's just a great overall fighter all around, you know? Like, there's not really any holes in his game. He had that what's it called? controversial knockout over Kutalaba, and then they ran it back again, and he still knocked him out anyway. So it's like,
yeah, that was not even
that
close.
back 8 months later.
Yeah.
Then he beat up Nikita Krylov. That wasn't the most exciting fight, but it showed that he does diversify his fights a little bit. I think that this fight's I would almost lock it in for Ankalaev.
Damn, that's wild. Do you know what the odds set at?
Minus 360 for Ankalaev.
Minus 360.
Wait till you see the odds on the next one.
Oh, dude, I know the odds on this one. We're actually gonna go agree. I'm gonna go with the deep underdog in Volkan Ozdemir. Dan's going to go with Magomed Ankalaev, and we're going to move right into the next one, Li Lang versus Khamzat Chimaev.
All right. First and foremost, I want to say this. I think that Chimaev has the possibility to be the UFC's next greatest star. He really does. This guy is an absolute beast. What he did to Gerald Mearshart he should be in jail for that. And he's taking on Li Lang, who is no fucking joke, which is why I'm puzzled to see that Li Lang is like a plus 380 underdog in this fight. That should not be the case. That should not be the case at all. You know I love hype trains. You know what gets me going. I love Khamzat Chimaev. Li Lang just came off of a knockout win over Santiago Ponzinibbio, which was very impressive, by the way. Now he's fighting Chimaev, and it's like these odds makers really think that Chimaev is just going to steamroll him when, in fact, Zhang Lang is no joke. But here's how I think the fight's going to go. I think that Chimaev is going to have to go into the second round this time. It's not going to be an easy first round finish for him or anything. I think he's going to take Zhang Lang. I think he's going to bring him down to the ground, and he's just going to do the smash. He's going to just smash him for the first round. Probably smashes him for the second round. But Zhang Lang is too fucking tough, and he hangs in there And if Chimaev's gas tank is in any way, shape, or form not good, we could see a real problem here. But I'm gonna take Chimaev by unanimous decision. But I don't think that he's gonna knock out Li Lang. He is no fucking joke. Li Lang is the truth, actually. So it's a tough one. It really is a tough one. This fight should be about even. Like when it comes to the odds, I think it should be near even.
Right.
It's a close one, but I'm gonna ride with Khamzat Chimaev. You know I love him. It's hard not to. This guy just wants to fight.
Yeah. I'm gonna start with the Leech in this one. UFC veteran, low-key UFC veteran, and has a 10-4 UFC record. And 6 out of his last 8 fights have been either fight of the night or performance of the night. The guy puts on shows. And like you said, he's got a stellar chin. He's never been knocked out in the UFC out of 14 UFC fights. He's been subbed once, but the other 3 were unanimous and split decisions. So you can't blame him for that, considering that he's been in the UFC since 2014. He has a plus 0.85 striking differential, 42% accuracy, 1.3 takedowns per fight at 40% accuracy, only 60% takedown defense. So that's something big to take into consideration, considering that he's fighting Khamzat Chimaev, who 3-0 in the UFC since making his debut only in July 15th of 2020. Very recently, and already has become like a legend.
Name almost.
Yeah. All 3 performance of the nights, all finishes, all of his fights have been finishes. Like you said, I don't think he's able to KO Lee, but I would not be surprised if there's a TKO in this. I don't think Lee goes out.
Here's the one way he does it.
One.
Back up a little bit. He watching his tape, he has done this so many times. He did it to GM3 and the split knocked him out. He feints a shot and then comes up over with a right hand. And that drops people. He's done it throughout his entire career and it's given him nothing but success. So I could see one of those clipping, Lee.
And I could totally see that. You know, you never know. But if that doesn't happen, Chimaev's takedowns are relentless, and Lee's takedown defense is subpar. So that is going to be the difference maker in this fight. I'm going 100%. I am going Khamzat Chimaev. The odds reflect it. I do agree with those odds, Dan. I don't think that this is a closer fight than in my head. This is very one-sided. But we're both going to agree. We're both going to go Khamzat Chimaev, right?
Lixiang Lang is ranked number 9 in the world or something like that. You think Chimaev can just take that step up that easily?
I think he can.
I would love to see it.
I think that we're all going to see it. You know.
I mean, Chimaev is no fucking joke, guys. Like, he really isn't.
Yeah, he's a scary dude. This is hit, and he's fighting at 170, and that guy is a 185. You know what I mean?
He fights at both. He doesn't give a fuck.
I know, but he's huge at 170.
Yeah.
So, absolutely huge. Lixiang Lang, also a big dude, though. You know, can't take that away from him. But yeah, we're both going to agree on this one, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Both going to go Khamzat Chimaev. We're going to move right into the next one. Alexander Volkov versus Marcin Tybura. So let me see here. Marcin Tybura, 5-0 in his last 5, has KO'd his 2 last opponents for performance of the nights. Performance of the nights. I couldn't respect this guy more. He single-handedly was about to be brought himself back to the UFC. He was on his way out of the UFC. He was 1-4 in his last 5 before going on this 5-fight winning streak, and just single-handedly saved his career. He's got a plus 0.3 striking differential, averages 3.6 strikes per minute, 1.7 takedowns per fight at 45% accuracy, taking on Alexander Volkov, who's 3-2 in his last 5, most recently coming off a banger and hard-fought fight against heavyweight challenger Cyril Gane. He's got a plus 0.2 striking differential.
It wasn't a banger. It was more of a snoozer.
I liked it. He's got a plus 2.
I liked it, but a lot of people didn't.
He's got a plus 2 striking differential at 57% accuracy, 67% takedown defense. Tybura might be the more well-rounded guy overall, but I think Volkov has a decent advantage on the feet. And I think this fight stays on the feet. So I'm going to go with Alexander Volkov in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I mean, the guy's 6'7", 265.
Is he 65?
I think he's 265, yeah. His last weigh-in was at 265, so yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Tybura is 265 as well. So this is a real heavyweight.
About 251.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's on a nice winning streak himself. He's beaten Sergey Spivak, Maxim Grisham, Ben Rothwell, Greg Hardy, and Walt Harris.
Yes.
Finishing Greg Hardy and Walt Harris, both via ground and pound. Greg Hardy was beating the shit out of him on the feet, which goes to show that Volkov will beat the shit out of him on the feet. So all Volkov has to do is avoid the ground. I know it's hard. He's got a tall frame, so it might be easier to take down for Tybura, but I'm gonna take Draco. I'm gonna take Alexander Volkov in this fight. I think he picks him apart.
Yeah, I think he's just like the overall more superior fighter of the two. But Marcin Tybura, he's a tough dude, man. I will say his last 3 fights, though, his last 3 losses, I should say, were TKOs. So, you know, you got to take that into consideration. But I know he went on that awesome 5-fight winning streak, but even then, it
It
was
almost get stopped by Greg Hardy. We can't
yeah,
forget about that.
that's true. And those 3 losses I was talking about, they're stemming from only 2019. Not too long ago, 2 years ago. But tough dude. But we're both going to agree. We're both going to go Alexander Volkov in that one, right, Dan?
Yes, sir.
We're going to move right into the next one. Islam Makachev versus Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker, man. If there is not a guy that is like the biggest fan favorite in the UFC, it has to be Dan Hooker, right?
It's got to be. He doesn't give a fuck.
And he'll fight you any day.
5 rounds.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to start with Dan Hooker. He lands 5 strikes per minute. He's only got a plus 0.3 striking differential, but he only fights top dogs. 1 takedown per fight at 35% accuracy, 80% takedown defense. He's coming off that really one-sided victory against Nasrat Haqparast. Just whooped his ass.
May I say one thing about that?
What?
I think he took that fight down to the ground thinking he might get clipped and knocked out, though. I think he was fighting a little bit scared.
Fighting a little bit scared. He tripled his strikes, though.
He did, but if you can tell he worked really hard to get those takedowns because he didn't he knew those left hands were coming.
Well,
he got clipped in a couple of them, and I don't think he liked it.
Well, he was on a 2-fight losing streak, so he might have really wanted to win. Maybe he was doing that. I didn't see that, but yeah, he was on a 2-fight losing streak for the first time in his entire career, that he lost 2 in a row, and it what almost is 3 in a row, considering that I do think he lost that fight to Paul Felder. It was a split decision victory for Dan Hooker, though. But then he went in to fight Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler, so they just feed him dogs all day. He's taken on Islam Makachev, who kind of has the opposite approach. He was really eased into the UFC. He fought low-level competition at the first. He fought veterans, and then he's kind of working his way up. They're really just, and his stats show it. He has a plus 1.75 striking differential at 58% accuracy, 70% takedown defense, 3.3 takedowns per fight at 65% accuracy, and 88% takedown defense. He's only been taken down 2 times in his entire UFC career. And this is the difference maker in the fight, is Islam Makachev's ability to control his opponents on the ground. He was able to control Thiago Moises for 8 minutes, Drew Dober for 9 minutes and 30 seconds, Davi Ramos for 4 minutes and 40 seconds. That stuff adds up, and that's how he gets his victories. He goes to decision, decent amount. But he is skilled on the ground, and he can take you down, choke you out.
He's getting more and more finishes now.
Yeah, he's and I think the UFC did a good thing in slowly transitioning in him to the UFC and building up his confidence and building up his resume. They did that for a reason. Dan Hooker's taking this fight, God bless him, on a month notice.
That's not too bad.
A month? He just fought Nasrat Haqparast. He's coming back after a month. The guy's a fucking stud.
I know, but I'm saying it's not that bad. At least it's not 4 days where it's
No, it's nothing too short. It's not a full camp, but it's not a week, Yeah. He knows who he's fighting. He's prepared for it. But overall, I can't go against Islam Makachev, man. If it's a striker grappler fight, I know Dan Hooker is a sick striker. I just think Islam Makachev's grappling is just other level.
And Islam Makachev, on the other hand, has some pretty good stand-up himself. He can hold his own on the feet. I don't think that he's gonna get into a brawl that Dan Hooker would want him to get into.
He shouldn't.
And I think this fight's going to be all about pace. It's going to be a pretty quick paced fight, even though a lot we might not see it watching the fight, but for them, that fight is going to be gruesome because the way both of them fight is grueling for every party involved. But they both enjoy it,
Oh, Dan Hooker eats
Islam
that.
loves taking you to those dark, deep waters.
Yeah.
Dan Hooker loves taking you punch me, I punch you, you punch me, I punch you. Let's see who's
Yeah.
left standing type deal. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna take Islam Makachev. I think that he gets a decision win in this fight. I'm Dan Hooker, all the props to him. Give him extra money for even taking this fight and spending the time away from his family. He's
Yeah.
stayed in America this entire time, I'm pretty sure, to train. So
Yeah, which is because New Zealand has these stringent laws about COVID and traveling and visas and all that.
yeah.
So,
Izzy has also just confirmed that the move is definitely taking place.
wow.
Um, they're not exactly sure on
Talking
location.
about city kickboxing.
City Kickboxing is moving to the United States, and I think it'll be soon.
Yeah, you heard it here first. I think they're moving to like Texas or Florida or something like that.
Colorado, maybe.
Colorado, possibly.
California.
You never know. We're both agreeing on this one, though. We're both going to go with Islam Makachev, with that grappling just being the difference maker in this one. And we're going to move right into the next one, which is the co-main event. And for the bantamweight title, Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen.
The real bantamweight belt, because we have a fake champion in our midst, and his name is Aljamain Sterling.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Listen, that guy is part of our community. He is part of Long Island. He's from
Yeah.
Like,
he is.
We loved him, but not anymore. Not after what he did.
No.
Not after what he did.
He betrayed us.
But in all honesty, back to this fight, I think this fight has all the makings of fight of the year. You have Peter Yan, who's a slow, silent assassin. He gets stronger as the fight moves forward, and he gains that momentum, and he just feeds off of he just feeds off of just hitting you and hitting you and hitting you, and he just ends up with those late stoppages so often. He was gonna do the same thing to Aljo before Aljo took that illegal knee. Sandhagen, on the other hand, we watched him in his last fight against Dillashaw. I thought he won, but I'm biased against TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah.
Sandhagen and Dillashaw is dealing with a knee injury himself. Fuck TJ Dillashaw. We don't need to be talking about him right now. Corey Sandhagen, one of the most entertaining guys to watch, if not the most entertaining guy to watch in the 135-pound division. Him and Sean O'Malley are probably the two most entertaining guys. Would you agree?
It's probably up there.
135. Like,
yeah, it's probably up there.
Like Peter Yan too. Like,
of course,
this fight is gonna be a fucking war, and I think it's gonna go 248-47s to Yan and a 48-48 and a 48-47 to Sandhagen. I think it's gonna be a split decision, and Peter Yan keeps his belt or wins the interim belt. But this fight is going to be one of the best fights we see this year, if not the best.
I totally agree with you on that one. I'm going to start off with Corey Sandhagen. He's got both these guys have bizarre stats. 6.3 strikes per minute, 47% accuracy. He's got a plus 2.25 striking differential. Only 65% takedown defense, but he is skilled off his back, and he's super long and lanky. He's able to get his legs up to his, he's able to do these submissions that normal people just cannot do. He's 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that fight from TJ Dillashaw, like Dan said. I hate Dillashaw as much as the next guy, but I do think he slightly won that one. But before that, he was on a 2-fight winning streak over Frankie Edgar and Marlon Moraes. So all tough competition.
Knockouts, with the Frankie Edgar knockout being one of the coldest knockouts I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, that was unheard of or unseen before that. Well, he's going to be taking
Frankie Edgar of all people.
I know. He's going to be taking on former champ Peter Yan. I could not think more highly of this guy. 6 strikes per minute, 52% accuracy, a plus 2.5 striking differential. Both guys' striking is very similar statistically, but very different fighters. And this is huge here. 2.15 takedowns per fight at 66% accuracy and 90% takedown defense. I expect Peter Yan to be able to get takedowns in this fight. People always talk about his crazy Muay Thai. Like you see videos of him and he's got like the quickest, some of the fastest hands you've ever seen, like the loudest, like when he hits the pads, it sounds like firecrackers are going off. The guy is the real deal striking. No one really talks about his grappling as much as that. And it needs to be a fact.
He doesn't like to be on. He doesn't. He trips guys and takes them down technically, but he lets them right back up.
Yeah, he wants. Yeah, he kind of tortures people in there. You know what I mean?
I mean, you look at Aljo trying to get takedowns the entire time, and then Peter Yan was like, "Oh, this is how. Now get back up and fight me." Yeah. That's what he did to Aljo.
That he was teaching Aljo a lesson in that. Aljo went 1 for 17 for takedowns in that fight, and Peter Yan went 7 for 7, 100%. It was, that fight was not even when I was watching that, not even close. Not even close in my mind.
Not even close, and it was getting even more not even, like it was getting even further away.
Corey Sandhagen might be the number. This could be like an Israel Adesanya and a Robert Whittaker type deal where Israel Adesanya is Peter Yan and he's the number one guy. He's the champion and no one can beat him. But then there's also a guy right below that where is tough as nails and no one can beat him either. But he's never able to like go up and become champ. You know what I'm talking about? And I think that's exactly what this situation is. I'm going to go with Peter Yan in this one 100%.
Via. How does he do it?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, man. I don't know. It's tough to see, maybe TKO. It's tough to see Corey Sandhagen get knocked out. He's never been knocked out in the UFC. I can't see him getting knocked out, and maybe that's why. But you never know. Peter Yan, that's what he does to people.
Yeah.
But who knows? Decision, maybe?
I see decision. I think this fight's going all 5.
Yeah. All right. So cool. At least we agree on that. We're agreeing on the whole thing, actually. We're both going to go Peter Yan. Both going to go by decision. We're going to move right into the main event, right, Dan?
Yeah. And I think this will not go the distance.
I agree with you on that. Jan Błachowicz versus Glover Teixeira. This is a long time in the making. And two guys who, in my mind, are just like huge fan favorites. Like, I love both of these guys. Veterans of the sport, 41 and 38 years old, been in the UFC forever. I'm going to start with Glover Teixeira in this one, the challenger. 5-0 in his last 5 over Ion Cutelaba, Nikita Krylov, Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, all very tough competition.
And by the end of it, all those guys, I think, went to the hospital.
Yeah, for sure. He was known for like being one of the most well-versed BJJ practitioners and grapplers on the ground with his submissions. But over the years, he's slowly added like this striking game that is good, is a lot better than what it used to be. And it's
I think his striking game has always been good. Even back in like 2013 when he was fighting Fabio Maldonado and James Tahuna and Rampage Jackson, knocking out Ryan Bader and shit, like he was great on the feet.
That's true. You got a point there. His biggest downfall is that, damage and age. He has, like Dan said, he's been fighting in the UFC consistently since 2006. He made his debut in the WEC in 2002 and then fought again in 2006. And since then, he's been consistently on the UFC roster. Just performance of the nights, KOs, submissions. The guy really does it all and deserves to be here. I can't stress that enough. Like, this guy deserves to be in the spot where he is right now.
In a row in pretty dominating fashion.
Yeah. And he knows in his head, this is my last chance at a title. So that driving force could be the reason why he's just done so good. In his last 5 fights, he has been knocked down 2 times and was able to recover and submit his opponents. This it's bizarre what he does. He actually gets hurt. He gets knocked down, and he comes to on the ground, and he's able to submit his opponents. It's unbelievable, and it's really crazy.
Like Derek Brunson in a way.
Yeah. Is he going to do that with Jan Błachowicz? Well, let me get on to Jan Błachowicz now. Also 5-0 in his last 5. He's 2 times he's defended his belt against Dominic Reyes and Israel Adesanya. Totally beat up Izzy in that last one.
I mean, the first 3 rounds were close, and then then the size discrepancy.
Oh my God, he was huge compared to him. And I will say that Błachowicz has fought some pretty tough competition. Luke Rockhold, Jacare Souza, Corey Anderson, who is surging over in Bellator right now and thinks that he can take him back on. They're actually 1-1 tied in the UFC. So, and they're both champions, I think, right now at 205 in different companies, right, Dan?
Yeah, I would say the Bellator's 205 division is very comparable to the UFC's 205.
Yeah, it's tough. I think Jan takes that fight, but he's got a plus 0.75 striking differential, 50% accuracy, 1.2 takedowns per fight at 53% accuracy, 65% takedown defense. He's gotten knockdowns in 3 out of his last 5 fights against Dominic Reyes, Corey Anderson, Luke Rockhold. 2 of those which have pretty decent chins to be able to knock those guys down. Luke Rockhold being the exception. I do think that Jan Błachowicz his hands are dynamite. I do think he's going to be able to knock down Glover Teixeira. I know that's exactly what Glover Teixeira wants. He wants to get knocked down and hurt and submit him. But Jan Błachowicz he's also skilled on the ground. I don't think that he's going to be able to sub. I don't think Glover Teixeira is going to be able to sub Jan Błachowicz. He's got too much knowledge of the ground game. And that's the way I only see Glover winning. So I'm going to have to go with Jan Błachowicz in this one.
All right. I see every single point that you are saying, and you are most likely correct. But I'm going to bring in here. Fucking Glover knows this is my last chance. And if you look throughout UFC history, a bunch of guys deserve belts and never got them. One exception to that was Michael Bisping. He was able to get that belt when
that was awesome.
Nobody thought he was able to.
Yeah, that was
cool. A lot of people are thinking Glover can get this. But you know what? I do. I think Glover's got a shot. I think he can weather the storm. I think he could end up on top and do what he did to Anthony Smith in that 4th round and just beat on him for 4 minutes in a round and take away Jan's explosiveness, his will, his cardio, his everything. And I think he gets it done in a later round. I am riding with the 41-year-old Brazilian, Glover Teixeira. Let's get it done. You got this. I believe in him. Chuck Liddell's coach, old coach Gene Hackney, was always with him, was always with Glover too. It just seems fitting that he gets this done. He has had so many obstacles in his life that he has overcome. You think age is going to stop this? He had a niece that was that went to the school where Sandy Hook happened. He's been deported from this country and not able to fight for this country when he very well should have been in the UFC and fighting top level guys in the UFC at that. You think that's going to stop him from getting this belt? I don't think so. He's already gotten a crack at it once. He came up short against the GOAT, but everybody could be in agreement here. Jan Błachowicz is not the GOAT. Glover's got a shot, and I'm going to take Glover in this shot. Plus 265. Bring it in.
Wow, I love what you did right there. And you know what? If Glover wins this, he deserves it. That's a storybook ending. You know,
I want him to win that fucking belt and retire.
retire. Isn't that what did Bisping ever fight again after that, or he retired?
47-year-old Dan Henderson. And won via split decision, I believe.
All right, he's like, let me leave. Let me get the fuck out of here before something bad happens. I'll lose my other.
And he got choked unconscious by GSP.
All right, yeah, that's.
And he fought Kelvin Gastelum, and then he was like, I'm done.
Okay. Yeah. He should, Glover should, but I would love to see him retire. That he gets the belt. He's like, I did it. I'm out of here. I don't got nothing to prove.
I would love to see it. I would just really love to see it. Maybe that's got part of what my pick is going into. But don't get me wrong. Polish Power could definitely knock him the fuck out.
Yeah, dude, I think it's a tougher fight than those odds, man. Those odds are crazy to me. Maybe Jan, maybe like a minus 170 in my head, minus something like that. Nowhere near a minus 275. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Disrespectful. And maybe Glover will eat off it. Like, oh yeah, minus 275.
Glover, if you're watching this, I believe in you.
He's watching, man. All right, so that's UFC 267.
Yep. I very well could be wrong on that one, though. That one was a lot based on emotion, but I would love to see Glover come out of the sport on top.
Yeah, that would be storybook ending. I would love to see that. Is that how life always is? No, it's not always like that, but it does happen once in a while, so you never know. But
we haven't seen one of those in a while, though. The last one we saw was Bisping, so let's see it again.
I would love to see it again. But that's it. That's it for No Brainer MMA. This was a long fucking episode. 15 fights. UFC 267 in the books. We'll see y'all next week.
A couple of these will get canceled by the time Fight Day shows up, but whatever.
Yeah, maybe one or two. Maybe, hopefully, at the most, and nothing big. Because that would be heated. All right. We're out of here.
We're out of here. Peace out. Let's go, Glover.